This is a pocket hole jig from Enjoywood, courtesy of our friends over in Bangor. Is it any good? I've not got a clue. Let's find out. You've been in woodworking for a while. You're bound to be familiar with the concept of a pocket hole, and you're probably familiar with something like this, the Kreg K4 pocket hole jig. It's a good quality pocket hole jig that's been around for years and really defined what pocket hole jigs are in the marketplace. But as always, as time moves on, things change and new products come onto the marketplace, such as this pocket hole jig from Enjoywood. Now, the overall design is not dissimilar from the Kreg, but it comes in at a really impressive price point, and the quality of the build is much better than the Kreg. So today we're going to have a look at this to see what we think. So in this video, we'll start off with the use case to say, why do you even care about a pocket hole jig? We'll then unbox the Enjoywood and we'll see what we get in the kit, and we'll look at the variations in the kit and have a quick look at that all important price point. We'll then look at the features of the Enjoywood kit and do a bit of comparison to the Kreg as we go through that. We'll then put it through its paces and then we'll come back together and see what we think. So let's start with the use case. What is a pocket hole jig and why do you care? So to put it simply, a pocket hole jig is a joinery system. It cuts pockets in your wood, holes at an angle, that allows you to connect two pieces of material together using pocket screws to give you a very, very strong, secure right angle joint, assuming that your wood is cut to right angles. So in profile, it allows you to cut a pocket through your wood at an angle. It puts a pilot hole underneath that pocket through your wood, allowing you to take a pocket screw and attach the pieces of wood together. The pocket screws themselves are designed with quite a coarse thread so it pulls through quickly, an incredibly sharp point at the end for penetrating your bottom piece of stock. They have a wide shoulder here on the head which rests down on the base of the pocket, and they have a square driving side here so you can get lots of torque to fasten your wood together. And if you're interested in pocket hole joinery, just do a search on YouTube for pocket hole joinery projects and look at the type of things that people make. And the reason it's so popular as a joinery system, it's fast, it's easy, it's accurate, it's low cost, and it's very strong. And assuming that your cutting is good, i.e. your wood square, it's also guaranteed to be square at the end of the day. Now, although pocket holes are not a system I tend to use an awful lot these days, I have had the Kreg system in my workshop for a long time. And in the early days, I did actually use an awful lot of pocket holes in my joinery, and I still use it now and then, and I still reach for the Kreg jig. So when Enjoywood got in touch and said, hey, we've got this pocket hole system here, would you like to have a look? I said, why not? Ship it over and we'll see what we think. And in true transparency, Bangor have provided this product free of charge, but I'm under no obligation to like it or say nice things about it. So with that said, let's get this thing unboxed and see what we get in the kit. So this is how it comes in this rather plain but gorgeous cardboard box. Pro aluminium pocket hole jig XK4 Enjoywood. Pocket hole jig, material aluminium, quantity 1, package size 313-138 by 148 millimeters, made in China. Not even opened this yet, so I've no idea what to expect. So let's have a look what we get inside this here box. Oh, okay. What we get inside this here box is that there box. So that's nice, isn't it? So it's coming in this really nice blue packaging. Enjoywood, it's a brand you're seeing more and more over on the Bangor website. Usually a sign of high quality material. You can see we've got a gorgeous woodworker here with orange hands and blue face, playing with stuff, CNC machines, what's that, a circular saw, all sorts of rubbish really. On the back it tells us about the product, Enjoywood, product's name, Pro Aluminium Pocket Hole Jig, and a picture of the jig itself. It's heavy duty aluminium material body, dust system, dust spout connector, stabilizer system, adjustable height column, stabilizing system, etc. So nothing exciting too much, but nice to see. Nice packaging. Single-use plastic wrapping it. I'm not sure that was required with it being inside a box as well, but hey ho. Maybe too much packaging. Opening the system, we are presented with plastic. Got a little book here, user manual, pocket hole jig. It's got some that lovely plastic, lots of bags, wooden dowels, the jig itself, and some things, and that's about it. Let's work it out. This is obviously the device, completely aluminium, apart from one small, no, that's aluminium too. Everything apart from the dust extractor on this one seems to be aluminium. Very nice. Let's see what we get inside here. At a guess, that is a guide for setting the depth of your drill. We have a number of rods. We have the drill bit itself in this little bag, and then the special adapter for pocket hole screws, and also in the bag with the rods in it, an Allen key. Another bag. Let's open this bag. In this bag we seem to have a packet of pocket hole screws, a collet. In here we have, wow, these look like flag stops. They're nice. And that explains this Allen key. Haha, that Allen key is for these flag stops. They're nice. Yeah, and that's the same height as the base, so one assumes that we've got some sort of support mechanism going on. And we've got an adapter here, and I assume that this adapter allows you to use this insert here in a mobile type manner, and we'll look at that shortly as well. So that's what you get in the kit, and first impressions, very, very, very positive. That looks really, really good to me. So in the XK4, you're going to get the pocket hole jig, and you're going to get the portable base that allows you to use that away from the jig itself. You're going to get the 3/8 inch drill bits, and you're going to get the 150mm screwdriver bit, as it calls it. You're going to get a wrench and a stop collar, which is that there. And you're going to get some pocket hole screws, and that's what you're going to get in the XK4. If you go for the XK4 Pro Max, you're also going to get what they're calling the snap ring adjuster, which is actually for adjusting the depth of your drill bits. We'll look at that shortly. You're also going to get 6 extension rods, and you're also going to get the 2 support stops and associated wrench. So what you're actually seeing here is the XK4 Pro Max. And in both kits you get these dowels. Now this is very, very similar in design to the Kreg K4. It's interesting, this is called the XK4, and it's very, very similar to the Kreg K4. So let's look at that all-important price point. If you're going to buy the XK4 kit without the Pro accessories, that's going to retail at £127.11. But there's often flash deals, and there's one at the moment, this being March 2024, and that kit will cost you £50.84. If you want to buy the Pro kit, that is listed at £135.05, but again, there's a flash deal on at £65.14. Now, the equivalent Kreg kit, and the Kreg kit is made out of plastic, not this really impressive aluminium. Just for this piece, not for the Pro kit, the accessories, the Kreg kit is around about £99. It tends to vary. I've seen it down at 99, I've seen it at 109, but round about that £99 mark. So considering this is made of aluminium, that is impressive. And to give you a comparison, this is the Kreg K4, and I've had this Kreg for years. Now, apart from obviously the clamping area and the bushes where the drill goes, this is completely plastic. It's moulded plastic, where this is aluminium. So for something that's coming in a Pro kit at £65, as opposed to the plastic one that is the Kreg at £99, that is value for money. That is huge value for money, assuming of course that it works. But such a simple design, how could it not work? So I like what they've done here. This is a really, really nice device at a really, really attractive price point. Let's look at the features, starting with the XK4 device itself. Now, the first thing to notice is you've got measurements in both millimetres and in metric. So millimetres on this side, inches on this side, and that follows through to the block itself that you use to adjust the height for your stock. We've got inches on this side, starting at 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2 and 1 3/4, and the equivalent metric on this side, 12.7, 19, 25.4, 32, 38 and 44. And in real terms, that's not too far away from the actual sizes of most man-made stock boards that you get. Equally, you've got the thickness of your wood here, exactly the same, 12.7, 19, 25.4, 32, 38 and 44 millimeters, 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 1/2 and 1 3/4 stock. So the idea goes that you can wind this end piece out here to the adjustments of your stock. So let's pretend that's 19 millimeters and just lock it down with your nut, and then you can set this to the appropriate thickness of your stock as well, 19 millimeters, and that's it. That's now set up for your 19 millimeter stock. There's a number of measurements down here, and that's so you can set up the depth of your drill. Comes in with this little collar here, a couple of grub screws in the bag that are loose. We get a spare one, but this is very, very similar to the Kreg, and I've never ever lost those grub screws, so I think I'm more likely going to lose the spare one than the main one. And then that just simply slides onto your drill. So we still assume we're working on 19 millimeter stock. You take the shoulder of your drill bit, rest that on the 19 millimeters, bring in your collar so it rests on the end of the board here, and just nip that up. And that bit is now set for 19 millimeter stock as well. So this is 19 millimeter height, that's 19 millimeter thickness, that's 19 millimeter depth of cut. And it's that simple. And then you can go ahead with your 19 millimeter stock and you can make the appropriate cut, and therefore you've got a pocket hole. Now if you remove the two brass nail knobs, this will drop out, and then you can drop this into your portable jig, put your brass knobs back in again, set the depth of your stock, so 19 millimeters in our made up example, lock that into position, and then you'll see there's a lip here. You rest that lip on the edge of your board, clamp it down, and then you can go ahead and drill your pocket holes, and that gives you more portability, which is good, I guess. Kreg does have a similar sort of device, so that's not unique to this, but this one is again made of sturdy aluminium, which is cute. So that's pretty much the features of the XK4. Now, bringing in the Pro kit, the first thing I want to talk about are these extension bars, and we get 6 extension bars in the kit, and these screw together like so to give you quite a long length, and hiding inside here is a threaded hole, so you can then screw this into your base like so, and then there's a similar threaded hole on the other side of the jig, and that obviously gives you quite a long working length. Now this is where these little devices then come in. There's a hole in these here, and that just simply, one assumes, slots on there, and there's another one here as well, so you get 2 of these in the Pro kit, and they give you additional support if you're using long stock. It also looks like they've got a little bit of a flag stop on them as well, so I'm assuming this triangular thing can go out of the way. Yes, it can, and then it can give us the appropriate flag stop. So if I was working on a piece of board that was slightly longer than my kit, these little devices here now make that incredibly stable, and that's something that the Kreg system doesn't have. And equally, I guess by using those flag stops, I can now make repeatable cuts on this, so every board I do comes out the same, which is marvellous. So the Pro kit also comes with this little device here, and that simplifies the setting up of your drill bit. You can see it's got a cutout inside here that's basically the shape of your drill, and it's got some millimetre marks and inches, and again they're familiar: 12.7, 19, 25.4, 32, 38, 44, or 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1, 1 1/4, 1 1/2 and 1 3/4 inches. You rest your drill into that holder, and I simply slide your collar to where you need it to be. So in our made up example, 19 millimeters, and that drill bit is now set for the perfect depth of 19mm. Now it's obviously got a dust extraction port here that takes a standard hose, so you can see that fits pretty well there. So that's basically the kit, not an awful lot to say to it. I've just got an offcut of MDF wood here, so what I'll do, I'll chop it in half and then we'll join it back together at right angles to see how this kit actually works. So we'll have a go at creating a nice right angle joint on this 25mm MDF stock. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to set this to 25mm. I'm going to set my doobry here to 25mm or 25.4mm, seems to be the nearest we've got. I'm going to set my depth of cut to 25.4mm as well. I'm just going to mark up where I want those pocket holes to go. This is obviously not precise. And one would hope you would take more care of your work than I just did there. And the reason I want to do that, because obviously you take your drill bit and you drill down through these holes here, and you can see that that comes out and drills through your stock, and that's what makes the pocket. So you can see here that you've got the centre lines on each of your steel bushes here that you're drilling down inside of. It also tells you that these are 16mm centres and these are 24mm centres. It also shows you on this one here the outside edge of your hole. So it gives you a lot of information there for your laying out and lining things up. To be honest with you, most people just draw a line on their stock, if they draw a line at all, and just line it up to the centre points. But there is lots of information on that top one if you wanted to do something more accurate for whatever reason. But all I'm going to do is to mark each of these lines up in turn with one of those marks on the top, the centre point, and clamp it into position there. So in theory, when I drill down inside this hole, that's going to come up perfectly on that line, assuming that centre point is okay. And why wouldn't it be? I'm going to bring it forward. I'm just going to drop a clamp on here at the end of the bench. And that just keeps everything nice and secure for me. Drop in the dust extraction. And now I can go ahead and drill my pocket. And what that's give you is this really, really nice pocket, as well as a pilot's hole inside the pocket that doesn't quite penetrate the end of the board. Now can I come up and line my second hole up? And with no drama, I've now got 3 pocket holes lined up, and I can now, in theory, screw directly into there, and we are good to go. Now if this was a cabinet, of course, you'd want your nice clean edges inside your cabinet. So typically your pocket hole screws will go on the outside, and that also means, of course, when you're screwing in with your pocket hole, it's going in at an angle like that, so it's going into the main meat of the wood, as opposed to facing this outside face, which should be rather weak. So on this particular design, pocket holes on the outside, perfect. Now I do know there's a lot of torque in these pocket hole screws as you screw them in. It is worthwhile clamping this down in some way, shape or form. I just find a parallel clamp works pretty well. Just hold its position and then I can get these first 2 holes in, and then it's obviously nice and secure. Now according to the instructions, using 25mm stock, I need 38mm screws. These are the screws that came with the kit. They don't feel super robust, to be honest with you. Nowhere near as good as the Kreg ones. They feel a little bit cheap, so I don't know what make they are, but they should do the job. So we can now come along with our screwdriver, and then it's simply a matter of screwing in. And it seems to work. Those screws pull it all nice and tight. And these screws that came with it aren't very good. The square drive hole on the top isn't quite good enough on that one. It's a bit off size. And there you go, just like that, you have 2 bits of wood joined together, and it's a really solid joint. And as long as my edges were square, it is also a square joint. So in terms of a device that makes pocket hole screws for you, this makes pocket hole screws for you. So there's not an awful lot more you want from that device. Nice and tight, nice and square. Job is a good one. Now the kit also comes with some of these little plugs, and for some reason that was going to be on show and you wanted that not to be on show, or at least filled up, you can just use these wooden plugs. And again, you can buy these from pretty much anywhere. You've not got to buy them from Banggood, and they simply push into place. Bit of glue that will glue them into place, then you can sand them down, and then you're pretty good to go in terms of invisible joinery system, apart from pine into MDF don't look good, but you get the idea and you get the picture. So there you go, that's the pocket hole jig from Enjoywood, courtesy of our friends Banggood over in China. And I think I would say this is a no regrets purchase for anybody. If you get this in the flash sale at that price point of £65 and 14 pence, and I compare it to the Kreg system as £100, this knocks the Kreg system out of the water, and whoever thought we would say something along those lines. The Kreg is plastic. I've had it in my workshop for a long time. It's never let me down. But at £65 compared to £100, this is all aluminium. The moving parts are stainless steel. The bushes are stainless steel. They're replaceable. All the knobs are nice brass knurled knobs. It's a quality piece of equipment. We saw in our simple test. It's very easy to use. The dust extraction is phenomenal. The Pro Kit comes with these extension bars, which means it makes it easier to use longer bits of stock. That's an optional extra above the £100 on the Kreg system, and even the extensions are limited and they are made of plastic. And I would go as far to say that this is going to replace my Kreg system, and if I knew this was on the market when I was looking around for my Kreg, this would have been the purchase I would have gone for. So highly recommend it. Look out for those flash deals. Get over to Banggood, have a look at the system. If you're in the market for a Kreg system, buy this one. Quick tip, buy the Kreg screws. The Kreg screws are really high quality. They're the best on the market, even when you compare them to aftermarket productions. The ones that come with this system are cheap, they're crap. I wouldn't show them to a real project. I even struggled on that simple demonstration. So screws rubbish, everything else awesome. Highly recommended. So I hope you found this useful. Take care in the workshop, and I'll see you next time on Woodworking.